back to the work of the Minister of Youth. This is session 7. In this session, I wanted to also get back to the 6 relationships of the Minister of Youth, and in this session, focus on the relationship that the Minister of Youth has with adult leaders. Many times we sometimes neglect our adult leaders, and we're asking, and we're looking for more and more volunteers, and it seems like all the time that we're interacting with our adult leaders, we're asking something from them. And in this session, I want us to talk about how we can instead serve our adult leaders. I want us to remember of course, the picture and the model that Christ gives us is that of a servant leader. We remember, of course, how Jesus himself, Christ himself, was willing to wash the disciples' feet. And that model of servant leadership is so true when it comes to our relationships with our adult volunteers. We want to see and find out how we can best serve our adult leaders. And I want to suggest one way that I have found that helps us to just focus on being humble, having that a servant's attitude, being willing to focus on others rather than ourselves, and to really love our adult leaders. And that's through a youth leader small group. And what I mean by this is that, you have small groups for your students, for your teenagers. Maybe you have several small groups. Maybe you have one small group. Our adult leaders have maybe adult Bible study or Sunday school classes, but many times those leaders are missing out on opportunities to interact and be in an adult Bible study because they're instead with you leading students. And so I want to encourage you to provide a small group for your adult leaders. Now, this means that you're going to have to come up with a meeting time, a time when you can gather with those leaders outside your regular time with students, of course. And so that may mean a Sunday evening or something like that. It might mean a weekday night. I know that in my most recent ministry experience, I had an opportunity to serve as a volunteer in a local church, and we were meeting on Monday nights. That was just a night that worked for most everyone in the group. And so we would meet at our youth leader's home, and there was a tremendous opportunity to just have casual conversation and to also spend some time in prayer together and study and Bible study. And I tell you, I really grew to love and value that time, and I know that your leaders will as well. So we want to see how we can serve our adult volunteers through these times of small group. And in our small groups, we can do a couple of things. We can get to know them. This is how you get to know your volunteers. You want to know them, not just what they can do for you, but you want to get to know them for who they are, right? You want to come to understand who their family is and their extended family, what is their work situation, what's that like? How can you be praying for them and their family and for their work and their job and their career? What are their needs and their concerns? You want to not just always be focused on their attention towards students, but allow this time to be a focus on them and their needs. And so I just encourage you to take time to find a way to meet just with your adult volunteers. This is a way to strengthen and encourage and disciple and to develop them as leaders. You can encourage them in a number of ways. I can think of some great resources like Lead Small. It's a great book. If you don't know Lead Small, look that up. Lead Small is a terrific resource to help us understand the importance of being a small group leader. And this is the type of book that you could go through week by week, chapter by chapter with your adult volunteers. Also, you could go to conferences. You could go to conferences together. If there are area conferences, I encourage you to do that. We have here at New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary, once a semester, we have what we call YMI weekend workshops. That's the Youth Ministry Institute here at New Orleans Seminary. And these weekend workshops are for students who are in seminary like you, but also for adult volunteers and other leaders in our churches that could benefit from a weekend experience talking about various aspects of youth ministry. And then finally, retreats. There are opportunities to just get away, maybe for a day, maybe an overnight, where you're getting away and you're again, just concerned with helping them grow spiritually and getting to know them personally. These are just a couple of ways that we can make sure that we value and let our adult volunteers know how important they are to our ministries. Let me encourage you this week to be working on your youth ministry philosophy. You've got to turn that in on Blackboard, remember, so that's a document that you turn in right on Blackboard, but that you're also posting on the discussion board a portion of your youth ministry philosophy. So you take a little bit of it, maybe the mission statement or the core values that you've developed, and you share those in the discussion board and then comment on other posts and what others have said about their philosophy of youth ministry. That's all I have for you, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you.